Hello, Libra. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards. Use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And that's pretty good. High Priestess to begin. I feel like there's an increase coming to you. Okay, this could be an increase of wisdom, of knowledge, of information, of insight. But let's put this into some context. All right, let's see what is. An increase, and then we've got this Four of Pentacles. All right, that's interesting. And a Seven of Cups. A Ten of Pentacles, all right. A Prince of Pentacles, and the Fool. Interesting. I think you're getting some insight, really, into something that you're participating in, and it could be a commitment to, well, it could be a relationship, could be a job, it could be something that you just kind of volunteered for. I feel like you're almost, you've kind of locked yourself into something here. Right? And we might be aspiring to a little bit of freedom. At the same time, we kind of like, we like the stability that this thing is giving us. There's a Knight of Wands, Two of Wands, a Knight of Swords, and a Ten of Swords. Yeah, I feel like this isn't something that you're really going to be able to reason out, right? We can't really do the math on this one. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're just going to set it down right here. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. And it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put a prediction down in the comments. Doesn't matter what it is or how strong of a feeling. Just put something, right? First thing that comes to your mind. All right. Let's use this as an opportunity to exercise our intuition. We need some practice, right? Let's do it together. I think it'll be fun. Let's look around the room here again, because I've got this just two major arcana. And interestingly, they kind of are in similar attitudes, right? They're in this very, very accepting. Although the High Priestess is sitting a little bit more, firmly in a seat here, but arms are open, arms are stretched out and ready to receive. The Fool is ready to receive, ready to wander. There's really no stability in the Fool, but there is stability in the High Priestess. Okay. This is kind of, the feet below the hells and the head above the heavens. So I think this is a very good combination. We're trying to sort of keep our wits about us, right, before we do something that might be a little bit impulsive or drastic. We are looking kind of at this situation impulsively. We do kind of want to just perhaps wander away, maybe run away from this situation. We have a lot of fire over here. We have some water, but it's not very positive water, to be honest with you. There is some light and shadow in all cards, so this card is not all bad. All right. We have our air energy, for sure, and then we've got a lot of this earth energy. Okay. So I think that lately, here's that High Priestess. I think lately you've been getting more and more inklings, right? More and more just a suggestive intuition, just little gut feelings here and there. And maybe we could interpret them as red flags. We can kind of interpret some of this fire energy as red flags here. But I think you're just getting this, almost an uneasiness, almost this feeling that something's Something's changing. Something is not as stable as it once was, perhaps. And I think it's this Earth situation, this Pentacles situation. We've got the 10, we've got the 4. And I think you're in this. It could be a work thing. It could be your department at work. It could be a group of friends. It could be an artistic collaboration. It could be school. It could be family. It could be a volunteer organization. It could be a community thing you're doing. It could be a church, temple, lodge, an order that you're part of. And I feel like there's this growing suspicion that something's just not working, right? And I feel like this is an increasing feeling. This is something that continues to kind of tug at you, and maybe you're not really sure why or where it's coming from. I think it is really a situation that you're in that is kind of closing you off, right? With the 10 of Pentacles back here, I almost feel like we thought this was going to be something much different than what it actually is. We were promised a 10 of Pentacles, but we got a 4. You know what I mean? 4 is good. We're not going to say no to a 4, but it's not everything that we wanted, and I don't think it was quite what was promised you. Now, this could be entering into a contract or a work situation where you were told, you were led to believe certain things, maybe, and that's not the reality. Okay, and I think that's kind of where this 7 of Cups feeling is coming from. This is beneath the surface. This is within you, and I think what the High Priestess is saying here is that you need to trust your gut. And I think your gut is saying that there's something sour about this situation, right? The 7 of Cups really is a confidence. Yeah, it may not look like it. It's a confidence that you can see through the BS. It's a confidence that if something doesn't look right, if something doesn't feel right in your gut, and you've got that kind of sour feeling, that uneasiness, trust it. Be confident that what you perceive is actually what it is, right? I think a lot of the time it's then our mental energy, our mind, our intellect that's saying, no, this is just me being nervous, this is just me afraid of whatever, this is just me being silly. The High Priestess is saying, look, you're going to continue to get this growing feeling. It's going to increase. You're going to get more and more messages, and they may become less and less subtle until you can put your finger on what the problem is and what you want to do about it. All right. The 10 of Pentacles here in the past. This is your best life. This is what you've always wanted. And if someone or something or some organization, some group, promises you this, if you can see that this is the prospect, well, anyone's going to go after this, right? I mean, you'd be a fool not to, right? But if it's not working out this way, if it's not actually becoming this, if it's not helping you to realize your best life, if you're starting to feel that this situation is not the best for you, then we've got to go the way of the fool, right? You'd be a fool not to attempt this, but now I think you'd be the fool to continue doing this if it's no longer working for you, right? But there's always a but. You got this Prince of Pentacles up here. This is the builder. This is someone that says, well, I committed to this. I'm going to see it through till the end. Maybe I can fix it, right? Maybe maybe you've got what it takes and what this situation needs to build that 10 of Pentacles that you were promised and not just be kind of stuck in this 4 of Pentacles. So the idea here is that something is broken and something needs fixing, but that's not necessarily the case. We don't see that with this 4. The 4 kind of tells me that this is what it is. This is the way it's supposed to function. But you were lured in a way, by the promise of this 10 of Pentacles. Now, it could be a financial situation. You were promised, hey, it's going to be everything you want, guaranteed money, right? And you get there and you think, this is, one of those pyramid schemes or something. Kind of looks like that if we use our imagination. But there's nothing here that really needs fixing, right? This is the way it's supposed to work. So by you staying in this situation, I think you are limiting yourself. I don't think. The cards are saying that. I'm not going to tell you what to do. The tarot's not going to tell you what to do. Okay? I think what's going on is you're starting to realize this yourself. You're having this sneaking suspicion that's growing more and more obvious, less and less subtle, that this is something limiting, that this really is all there is. You were told that there was going to be treasures beyond your wildest dreams inside the vault in Karth, but you open up the vault and it's literally empty, right? Game of Thrones reference. There's nothing really for you to do. So by staying committed to this situation, it seems as if you're further limiting and isolating yourself. Okay? But this is a thing that works. This is something, a 4 is not too bad. It's like when we get the 4 of Cups or something, it's good. Nothing really wrong with it. The point is that it's not what you were expecting. It's not what you were, I feel, from the way these cards are lined up, it's not what you were led to believe. Right? And I think your intuition is starting to tell you, hey, it might be time to go walk about. Because of this 7 of Cups here, and this High Priestess telling you got to trust your gut. You have this uneasy feeling. Don't try to fix it. But perhaps consider where you might better take your energy, your skills, your commitments, right? Now, the Fool, in the future position, the Fool can be somewhat inconsiderate. The Fool sometimes does things, and other people might be offended by it, And usually this is kind of something to be avoided, right? We don't want to be inconsiderate. We don't want to offend people. But I think the Fool has a very kind of special meaning right now, because you would be betraying yourself, and that's part of this 10 of Swords here. You would be betraying yourself if you just resigned yourself to stay here because you committed. Yeah, it wasn't what you were promised, but you're here, you might as well just stay here. The Fool is here to say, and I flip these around. The Fool is here to say sometimes it's okay to be inconsiderate. You're not going out of your way to offend people, but if you standing up for yourself and leaving a restrictive and limiting situation is causing somebody else some grief, well, that's Dallas, right? It's kind of all's fair, right, in love and war. So the Fool has that special message. Now, every card has light and shadow, right? So the Fool says, maybe it's time to just do what you got to do and get yourself into a better situation, or get yourself out of a situation like this. Of course, we don't want to just literally go wandering out into the darkness and not have a plan, right? So there is some impulsivity here, where the urge is growing and growing to, I think, just leave, almost to just drop everything you're doing and walk away. And that's going to bring us to the path of the Serpent over here. And as I switch over here, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. And leave some comments for me. I've really been enjoying hearing where all of you are watching from. We have viewers that are really spread out across the globe, and it's really fascinating to see that. And I appreciate all of you. Okay, we see this impulsivity over here on the path of the Serpent. We start right here with this kind of Aries energy. This is the Knight of Wands, fire on fire. This is kind of instinct carrying us away. Maybe this isn't always a bad thing, right? Maybe the Fool is kind of one of these things that kind of up in the air. Yeah, I have this urge to kind of to leave, but I don't want to leave anybody hanging. I know I kind of promised that I would do this, but things have changed. the reality of things has changed. So there's this decision that needs to be made. And maybe the Fool isn't really the one to make that decision, right? Because we could be rather up in the air about it. The Fool is just saying, whatever, hey, I'm down for whatever. The Knight of Wands, on the other hand, is ready to go, is already on the horse, right? Is already kind of packed up and ready to go. Doesn't need to take much with it. This is the way you are viewing this situation. And it's again this kind of being up in the air. Well, do you trust in your instinct and trust the horse? And there's this impulse, this growing feeling to get out. Do you just trust that and literally run right off into the distance in any direction? Or are you trying to, control that instinct using, the rider? Who's in charge here, I guess, is the question. The horse or the rider? Sometimes it needs to be the horse, right? And that, I think, is the message of this High Priestess. Trust yourself. If you're feeling that there's this growing anxiety that you need to go. Right? We have this faculty for a reason. So I think sometimes it's okay for us to just hold the reins, hold on tight, and let the horse take us away. Yeah. The Two of Wands here, this is kind of showing me that there is resistance in your environment. Whoever this person, this group, whatever this thing is, and I don't have much of an idea of what this is. It kind of feels like a work thing or some sort of a money-making opportunity or something, right? I feel like your attempt to leave is even going to be challenged, right? This is the Two of Wands. This card is called Dominion. It's kind of, it's what the Fool is really going to do. The Fool is going to offend someone in this situation. And, it's easy for the Fool to then just get kind of tossed about by the wind. So I think it's very important for us to take this fiery approach. And it's also in the position of what we don't want, which is the air energy here is what we don't want. And the Fool obviously is air. So it seems like the Fool approach is not really the method that's being recommended here. We do just kind of want to go, but there's like a lack of purpose, a lack of certainty here with the Fool. And I almost wonder if there's going to be this effort to try to communicate, to try to raise your concerns and have a discussion, thinking that you can talk this out in a reasonable way. But with this Two of Wands here, it doesn't feel like this other group or person or whatever is really willing to listen. It's almost as if there's nothing wrong here. There's nothing that you need to tell me. There's nothing that I'm ready to listen to because this is how it's supposed to be. This is an energy that does not want to listen. That does not have the openness to accept that maybe something's wrong. Isn't even willing to entertain that conversation. You have concerns. No. Right? So to me, it feels like a work thing where it's just kind of, you get there and you start on Monday morning and it's a lot different than what you were told. And nobody is willing to listen. Nobody wants to hear that perception or that fact, right? So we go up to these two air cards. And I think that this might be the way of the Fool. We're kind of up in the air. Well, maybe we'll talk to them first. Maybe we'll try to sort it out. And we get ourselves to this 10 of Swords. And I think ultimately you might try going the route of the Fool and having this conversation. You'll see that's kind of a dead end. Okay? But if that is your first instinct, to have a conversation and try to sort it out, or at least to kind of raise your concerns, have it documented that you feel this way and that you perceive things in a certain way, then that, I think, is what you're going to do. But I think you're going to be met with this fiery resistance, especially this Two of Wands, and I think it's going to be a dead end. And I think we'll end up coming back to this Knight of Wands that just says it's time to just kind of go. right? It's time to just grab the reins and let the horse carry us away. But let's take a look at the mystery card now. Okay, let's see if Tiny Bob Ross has anything to help us with. I never showed you guys Tiny Bob Ross. I don't know if you can even see that. Really tiny. Okay, mystery card. What should this be? What could it be? Well, it's either going to be air or fire, right? Because I think these are our two methods. The Fool is kind of on the fence, maybe wants to have a conversation about it, see if we could sort things out, right? It's just kind of not really committed one way or the other. Whereas this fire energy is ready to fight, ready to just kind of go and get out, right? And just barrel past this, this opposition. So I feel like we're either going to get air or fire here. Now, if you have a prediction, put it down in the comments below. Let's see what we have. Well, we've got a 6 of Pentacles. Wasn't expecting that. Maybe 6 of Pentacles. Maybe, well, for one, maybe it's not as bad as you think. Let's accept that possibility that, maybe this is, well, I don't want to say an overreaction. But the impulse here needs to be accepted, but also assessed. I think that's the word I'm looking for. But I don't think that this is talking about necessarily the somewhere in the middle, right? That it's not the best, most abundant thing that you were promised, but it's also not this kind of, four-walled prison here, that it's somewhere in the middle. Maybe that's true, sure, maybe. I kind of feel that this 6 of Pentacles is an ideal that you're searching for, right? This is the beauty and the harmony that I don't think we're experiencing here in this 4. And it doesn't matter necessarily what the facts are of the situation, but the idea here is that you are not feeling the love, that you're not feeling the harmony. You're not feeling that this was kind of what was promised you. It's almost as if they showed you this very beautiful picture of things, but then when you get there, they're just kind of throwing you scraps. Yeah. So I think that this is, again, there's this idea that nothing really needs to be fixed. That this is the way it is supposed to be. It's either you adapt to the situation or you move on to find something that is more suitable to you. And I think maybe the 6 of Pentacles is saying that you will find that. That you need to have your standards. You need to have your goals. That we can't lower our expectations. We can't find ourselves in a situation like this 4 of Pentacles and think, well, wasn't really what I wanted, but I'm here. I might as well stick around. I think a lot of us do that, right? In jobs, in relationships, in any kind of anything that we've committed to, and because we've agreed to something, then we feel that we're kind of stuck sometimes, right? But I think this is a card that says, don't lower your standards. Yeah, 6 of Pentacles. That keep the bar set really high, and don't settle for what this is if it doesn't, especially if you're misled, right? If it doesn't live up to what your goals are for life, what the kind of feeling that you want, right? Because the 6 of Pentacles is really about this kind of a feeling of peace and harmony and resonance, and I just think that you're not really resonating with this situation. Yeah. It feels like a 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles is fine. It's okay. But it doesn't have that glow to it. Right? And in this case, I don't think there's anything wrong with you moving on. Okay. Now, we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, click on the link up in the corner. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings. All right. I'm here every day from 6 to 8 a.m. Chicago time. Come back and see me again tomorrow. Libra, your readings specifically are every Wednesday and every Saturday. All right, but you can come back every day, right? It's totally fine. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything, and it's good for the channel. Right? I appreciate you. So thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.